Alright, where's my pen? Here's my pen. Where's my tablet? Here's my... Alright, motherfuckers. The time has come. It's... I don't know about where you may be or when you may be watching this. But... it's time to curse at chapter 27 for a half day tomorrow. Oh boy. Alright then, let me open up my page. Wait, which one is it? Shit, I opened up two. Shit. Is still streaming? I think it is. Look. Oops. Alright. I think everything is working now. Question mark, question mark? I assume so. Anyway, time has come to talk about chapter 27. Ba 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 ba. Nintendo don't sue. Alright. So this chapter is all about one thing. And one thing only. And that is Europeans being assholes. Now then, I know. Over the past couple of chapters, we've talked a lot about Europeans being assholes. But this time, they're even bigger assholes. Alright? And this time, their dickery and tomfoolery is called New Imperialism. Otherwise known as, we're bigger asshats now. Haha! Or, actually, let's change that. It's going to be the Art of Asshat 2.0. There you go. The Art of the Asshat 2.0. Because this shit was new, okay? Not only were they conquering people and taking their money and resources, they're also trying to convert them from their indigenous beliefs. So imagine, like right now, you're a normal American dude, right? You like memes, probably, or you probably wouldn't be watching this shit right now. You probably like memes and shit. And then some random guy came in and said, "Hey, fuck your memes. Memes are stupid. Classical art, impressionism, is the only image to look at. You fucking heathen." And let's be honest, they're probably right, but still, not only are they going to take your money, not only are they gonna take away your land, not only are they going to force you to work, they're going to take away your memes and force you to look at their shit and force you to act like you like their shit. That was New Imperialism. You were the unsuspecting indigenous person, and that asshole was one of the European asshats. Woo! Okay, we're done now. Okay, not really, but that is basically a pretty good overview, pretty good analogy. So let's clear this field. Bada bing, bada boom, and let's talk about the motives. All right, cause you always have motives for doing insane and stupid assholey shit. So political motives. Actually don't understand this fucking paragraph. Basically, it's like if the parent had a child, right? And that child proceeded to shoot somebody in the face, okay? He proceeded to really, really, really fuck up this guy's face. It's like, there's blood pouring everywhere, okay? And then the parent's like, well, shit, now I have to back up this kid. And so the guy with the fucked up face, indigenous people. The kid, corporations. The parent, host nations. nations. The corporations went in and kind of fucked them over economically, started taking them over, and then went like, hey, home country, I did a thing. Can you send soldiers to help me? Because I'm totally being attacked by the indigenous peoples. I don't know what I did, man. It's like they just kind of randomly attacked me out of nowhere, dude. And then the host country's like, alright, we got you, bro. We're going to get some more cash. And so, basically, asshats defeat indigenous people. And that's how they got a lot of land. Alright. Don't know why that entire section was called political motives. It's very confusing, in my opinion. Let's talk about cultural motives. Oh boy. Basically, racism. Wait, I'm not trying to write racism. I'm trying to write motives. Alright, cultural motives. Racism. Alright. So basically, the cultural motive was for all these heavenly missionaries, right? And they're so godly, and oh man, they want to spread the word of God to these heathens, these absolute fucking shitbags that were the indigenous peoples of the world that just lived in peace, worshiping whoever the fuck they wanted. And they're like, no, my son, you must believe in God. And then the indigenous people were like, what fucking ever, man. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I was doing. And then they were like, no, but you must also go to my school. And you need to not marry more than one person. And you need to do whatever the fuck I tell you to. And you can't slave people. You can't sacrifice other humans. You can't kill twins. Okay, so like the missionaries did do some good things, right? We're not going to knock on the fact that they kind of campaign against a lot of terrible shit. But they also kind of went like, okay, society is from civilized, right? And then we go down a bit. We go to semi-barbarous. Barbarous. Then we go into barbarian. Barbarian. And then we go to straight up 420 Savage. Okay? Alright. Now then. At this point in time, I know it might be hard for you motherfuckers to believe, but Savage was a detrimental term. Okay? And then whites, obviously, are always at the top of this. Asians, probably around here. Everybody else, probably around here. Okay? So, yeah. So, like, the missionaries, they tried to come in and, like, teach people. And then, ironically, the people they taught would turn around and be like, wait, you're fucking Christian? And they're like, yeah, man, we're Christian. We taught you. We're Christian. We taught you the Christian ideals. And then the indigenous people, the new generation that learned these Christian ideals and were like, but nothing that you're doing at all is following any sort of fucking Christian ideal whatsoever. And they're like, yeah, we know. We don't give a fuck. Alright. Moving on. And, oh yeah. Basically, this was kind of a time of peace between powers. So, like, this is a good opportunity for young men to go out and fight people so they can take over land for their country. And, you know, newspapers were popular when they put wars and conquests in the newspaper, right? And who's there to fight? Well, you can take over people and be dicks. And so they did. So basically, imperialism. Racist, popular, it's happening. What up? And then also the economic motive. Economic motives. I don't know why I'm writing this down. It's pretty short. Is basically, there be shit. Do I draw this? Here. Alright, fine. So, natives got shit. Europeans want that shit. So, they conquer the native. Boom. Alright? Easy money. Some of these things include minerals such as copper, tin, chrome, manganese, and coal, and especially gold and diamonds. And also not they, they, they didn't have they didn't have a demand for crops. They had a demand for industrial crops like cotton, rubber, sugar, coffee, tea, and tobacco. Right? And then and businessmen were like, "Hey, we almost went broke in this kind of depression between 1870s, 1890s. We gotta put our money out there." And so they put their money out there. It's pretty much it. All right, moving on. Oh shit! People are watching this shit. Hey, Lamo! Hi! You can type in the chat if you want to say hi, I guess. Or you can make a comment after this becomes archived. I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want. Alright, next up we're going to talk about tools for imperialists. Which I assumed was pretty fucking obvious. But we'll go over it just in case you needed a refresher, my friend. Alright. And the tools of the imperialists were guns, boats, gunboats, more guns, guns, and hold up. I know you probably think I'm gonna say guns, and you know what, motherfucker? You're wrong! It's machine guns! That's right. There's this huge battle called the Battle of Omdurman. The Battle of Omdurman. Right? Where basically hundreds and thousands of Sudanese people, like, went up against this little tiny British force. And guess what happened? These guys had machine guns. And these guys are now dead. That's what happens when you fuck with the British, apparently. Alright, so now we're gonna get into how the administration worked. Basically, how the government worked in that colony depended on how many white people are in it. 'Cause of course it does. Alright. So, let's make a chart. No, I don't feel like. Alright, well, you can make a kind of chart. So, a lot of white people. A lot of white peeps. You get shit like Canada, where they have basically their own government. Right? Basically have their own government. If there were some white people, if there are like a little bit of white people, little bit of white people, they just kind of had to fight over it. They just had to fight with the indigenous peoples a little bit more. And finally, if there were no white people, there's got one asshole there to rule over everybody else. They just got one asshole along with his guys with guns. All right. And there's an autocratic ruler. And the colonial administrations could basically just tax as much as they fucking wanted to, and they got traditional rulers to help them. And then in places where there were a lot of white people actually brought their wives, right? And they tried to do good work, but feminism, not a thing. Sexism, definitely a thing. And women can't really do jack shit. Boom. Moving on. What? What? Chapter. Alright. So, there's a scramble for Africa. This is important. You should know this. It's the scramble for Africa. And it was all spearheaded, and it was kind of started by poor old Egypt. Because Egypt here, they spent all this time, they spent all this money making this great Suez Canal, and they invited everybody over, like, everybody, look at my fucking canal, bitches. We're gonna be fucking rich. And then Egypt finally realized, oh hey, sweet cupcakes. Oh yeah. All right, sick. Anyway.
Coca-Cola with chocolate ganache.
Okay. Jeez. Sorry if I made you hungry. Anyway. And Egypt's like, oh yeah, boys. Suez Canal, bitch. We're gonna be fucking rich. And then they realized that they had already half of the shares were in French hands, and the other half they sold to Britain. And they realized they sold their souls to Britain. And they looked at each other. They went like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And it turns out, it wasn't. Because basically, to build the Suez Canal, Egypt had to borrow a lot of money. Okay, and where did this money come from? It came from Britain and France. Which meant the bankers there went to the governments of Britain and France and went like, hey, Egypt's not paying us back. And so what happened was they basically pointed their guns at Egypt and said, man, I'm really bad at drawing guns. Okay. Maybe draw a cannon? That just looks like a weird dick. Okay, we're just gonna stick with terrible gun drawings. But they basically just pointed their guns at Egypt and said, I am the captain now. And Egypt said, shit, you're the captain now. So, now and so at this point in time, Britain owns Egypt. It's part of Britain now. It's like a colony, but it's not a colony, but it's definitely a fucking colony. And you know, Egypt kind of fucked up there a little bit. Anyway. So with Western and Equatorial Africa, basically everybody got into this whole Berlin Conference. I hope you remember this from our lectures. But the Berlin Conference is we'll choose pink. Was basically Bismarck getting everybody together and saying, hey, let's split up Africa. And that was the Berlin Conference. Okay. And so Bismarck got together the Berlin Conference, and then out of this, basically everybody got a part of Africa, right? And everybody was basically using the existing trade systems from the previous Muslim rulers to continue the trade, but basically just to make money for them. You had to fight all the rulers. And this one guy named King Assad II. King Assad II felt that he deserved his very own personal country. He was the king of Belgium, but he got the Congo Free State all for himself. And basically, humanitarian tragedies, yada yada yada, it goes back to the Belgian government. We're not going to discuss this. It's disgusting. And frankly horrifying. Alright. See. Southern Africa. Afrikaners. Fucked over by the British. Zulu fucked over by the British. Cecil Rhodes. Know the name. He was a president of South Africa from the British. Fucked over the Afrikaners and everybody else. Let's see. Also fucked over the Ndebele whenever he sent his company to create Southern Rhodesia and Northern Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe and Zambia, respectively. The Ndebele. I don't know how important that is. Hey! What's it for? Come on. Alright, sick. I got money. Alright. Anyway. So yeah, in the belly. I mean, really. Southern Africa. The British, especially Cecil Rhodes, fucks over the Afrikaners and everybody else. Also, the De Beers Corporation is created. Diamonds by Cecil Rhodes, which continued fucking over the Afrikaners. That's a thing that happened. So, some people, political and social consequences. So, some people collaborated, and they got like schools and clinics and shit faster. A lot of people didn't, and they got fucked over by British military, including the Kingdom of Asante. Okay? These guys fought until they were basically overwhelmed because British were better. However, there was one country bold enough that they had been taking modern guns quite secretly over the years, and then when the Italians tried to get at them, they thought, man, everybody else is having such luck fighting off all the natives. Clearly, this will go well for us when we try to invade Ethiopia. The assholes with the half-ton guns. Well, problem is, Ethiopia has a lot of guns now. Like, here's a comparison. Before, Ethiopia had like this many guns. Okay? Now, they have that many guns times like 300,000. So, as you can imagine, things didn't go too well for the Italians. Oh, the poor Italians. So, basically, the Ethiopians had a shit ton of guns, shit ton of machine guns, shit ton of artillery, and the Italians were like, what the fuck, guys? How come I don't get anything? And Britain and France and the others were like, I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter, dude. Just fucking chill. So, yeah. And if you read Things Fall Apart, you'd realize that the land holdings were taken a lot differently. Like, you know, there were communal lands or some things that weren't farmed and on and on and on. And basically what happened is the Europeans came and said, if you're not farming on it, it'd be vacant. It'd be vacant. Right? That shit is ours now. Get the fuck off, bitch. And everybody became squatters and sharecroppers on their own ancestral lands. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum-bum. Life sucks. Also, African women, even worse. Because they can't even do the women's jobs that the women had in Europe. And keep in mind, life for women in Europe is still shit. So this is even more shit. Sucks. And like I said earlier, the new generation that was brought up by the missionary schools went like, wait, you're not following Christian ideals? And they said, I don't give a fuck. And that's what happened to poor old Africa. Rip. For now, I mean, obviously, it gets like a little bit better. But, you know, kind of shit. So let's move on to Asia. What happened to each part? So, Central Asia. Fucked over by the Russians. That's it. Southeast Asia and Indonesia. Southeast Asia, Indonesia. Fucked over by the British and the French. And like people started moving in. Like, so there's like a lot of Chinese, a lot of Indians that moved in. They started planting like cash crops like tobacco, cinchona, manioc, maize, rubber, all sorts of other crazy, wacky tacky shit. I mean, yeah. I don't know what's so important about this. And a thing that happened was nationalism started. It was starting to brew. It was a thought in the minds of the people. Like there was this Vietnamese student, Vietnam homeboy. Okay, so he's just like, okay, so we are preparing. I have secretly sent some of my fellow students to Japan, because Japan basically they're like the fucking Voltron. They took the best. They tried to take the best part of every European nation and combine it, and they're kind of a superpower now. And so, this student went like, alright, so I sent some motherfuckers to Japan, and we're gonna learn some shit, and we're gonna sell the noodle. Okay, no, he didn't say that, but they did start learning how modern shit, and to prepare, hopefully, to prepare for the future, where they could rebel. Oh yeah, the U.S. being a dick. The U.S. is a dick. That's pretty much it. You can skip, like, if you're watching this archive, you can skip, like, 30 seconds in the video, but the U.S. is a dick. And they're a dick because they annex Hawaii, right? Annex Hawaii because it's a gateway to Asia. Then, they fight the Spanish and gain the Philippines as a colony. Philippines is now U.S. colony. And they were already a Spanish colony. And they had an independence movement. And then the U.S. went like, wait. Let's fight the Spanish with you. And they're like, oh, cool. A fellow nation that gained independence from a country. Surely you'll help us. And then it's like, fuck no, bitch. You're not our colony now. But, after a while, the U.S. felt bad. And so eventually, in like 1940 shit, the Philippines got their independence. That was the thing that happened. Right. Latin America. Basically, instead of guns, they were conquered by this. Alright, just try to guess what I'm drawing while I'm drawing it. Alright, it's green in the United States. Could be different colors in other countries. It's pretty valuable. And it influences a lot of people. And if you haven't guessed it, it's motherfucking money, bitch. Alright? Basically, Europeans just invested enough money into Latin America until it became their bitch. Just created railroads, so invested in their products, And then at that point, Latin America was their bitch. America had a battleship Maine that accidentally blew up in Cuba, and then they blamed the Spanish, and then fought for Cuba, and then got Cuba. And then they also got Puerto Rico and Guam. And they also just kind of fought with Panama revolutionists so that they could not deal with the Colombians and create the Panama Canal. Oh boy. Is there anything else? Oh, that's pretty much it. Okay, well, now we're going to talk about the world economy and the environment. Basically, the environment is fucked over. More and more and more and more railroads are built. Irrigation starts to be created a little bit more so that things can be grown. Botany is started up a little bit as they try to, engineer new crops for the future, and people start trying to mine diamonds and gold, and it's really, really, really pollutive. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is chapter 27. I hope you will be prepared for whatever thing you were watching this video for. And I say to you, good luck on your shit.